Welcome to my daily practice at Wendy Coad Art. If you find this video interesting or helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video.
Hi, my name is Wendy and I'm an artist. I've been an artist my whole life and I am excited to invite you into my studio and show you my art practice. Welcome to my studio. I'm in the midst of a beginning painting period. So almost all of my paintings got started over the last few days and I am in heaven. Well, except for the paintings on the back wall. Started those maybe last week. And yeah, that makes me happy. So I'm going to work on my paintings today. But I have in the past talked about, the squeegees that I use as I paint. And a lot of these marks were made with squeegees. And I had quite a few of them that I made. Let's grab one here. They're getting all beat up. I made them out of dustbins. And got them at the dollar store. And they changed their supplier or something. And so they went from this size to this size. I mean, really, from this size to this size. And this is actually okay for the smaller works on the table. But even at that, it's just not very good, just in terms of the strength. And there's a little bow in the center, and I would be happy to just throw them in the dustbin. But I was there yesterday, and they're back in stock. And I stocked up. I should have gotten 10, but I got 4. These are my dustbins. And so I'm just gonna dustpans. So I'm just gonna show you how I take them from this to art squeegee. I mean, this one it actually is broken. It doesn't have an effect on its usefulness. So there's a variety of ways, but basically I want to remove the top part from the part that has a squeegee. Now I use these pinchers, and I just make that initial kind of interruption into the plastic, because it has a bit of a rim on the sides. And then, if I recall correctly, I could use a pair of sturdy scissors, I was going to say. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to not impale myself. So I'm going to just use an X-Acto knife to score the surface. So I've scored the surface. I haven't gone deep because it's an X-Acto knife and it's going to take a certain amount of pressure to do that. And then I'm going to come from here to there. And now it should cut a little bit easier. If it doesn't, I'm just going to pretend that I've got it happening here, and I'll let you figure it out yourselves. But there it goes. Once you get past a curve or two, then it starts to get a little bit easier. And be careful, because it can create some sharp points on the plastic that you don't want to experience with your hands. So I'm going to actually just try the X-Acto knife again to just go a little deeper now that I've scored that area. Oh yeah, so it just went right through this time. So let me continue and score the base, and then it'll just be the edges that I need to navigate. It's the corners on the plastic that are the hardest to navigate. Sometimes I find it helps when I just try to coax it. That cooperated nicely for me, much to my surprise. Okay, brute strength is not working, so back to my X-Acto knife. I'm just going to, I didn't think this was going to take as long as it is, but I want a new squeegee to start my paintings because it's been a while. You know, I just thought that's a kind of a tricky thing with supplies, you know. You just think they're going to be there forever, like my paper, which I'm still moaning about. Such a nice source for paper. Well, that's what plastic does. It just bends. I remember this as being much easier. Oh, sometimes you have to work for the good things that happen. Brand new squeegee, ready to go. Like I said, you know, there's some rough edges. I can put a piece of tape. This goes in the dust bin, the dustpan. And these edges, actually, before I even put them in the garbage, I cut these down because I don't want somebody to grab it and spear themselves on that part either. So here we have it, 1 down and 3 to go, but I'm not going to take the time now. Had I realized it was going to take that much time, but I really want to have a fresh squeegee. Like I said, this one is pretty much worn thin, and also the edge is compromised. It's still useful. I'll keep it, but now very special. Okay, so, and yesterday I went through my paints and I added some water to paints that needed that. And so the maiden voyage on this particular squeegee, I still have to open the ends of the tubes because they get blocked up. Once that's done, and the paint is flowing nicely, nice viscosity there. I have a new tube, well, a fresher tube of my Indian yellow. Should not be using the same blue push pin, but because it's squeezing out, it will eliminate any contamination. Blue and orange, such great colors. Well, seems to be some really old paint there. I could open these ends more, but then the paint just falls out, and that's not good either. So, got some nice warms and some nice cools. I'm going to stay away from the greens for a little while. Yeah. Well, except for this mint, which is green. Okay. I'm actually going to use a lot of it. So it's going to be a lot of mint. Never say never. So there's just about every part of this I like. And, but some of it's gotten a little congested, so I'm just going to use the paint I have here to overlay that. And I'm not going to be thinking too much about it because then I really start to tighten up. So there we go. Yeah, that worked pretty well. Already a lot going on there. I'll turn these around. I think there's not that much left to do on the map pages. I maybe should have stapled, see, I didn't staple the short edges on a few of these. So it's created a little bit of a bowing. All right. There's not going to be too much of this left, but it's kind of spreading out quite nicely. And I like the warm color in there. I am going to substitute the green for white. Just see how that goes. Keeping the rest the same. While the tubes are still flowing, I can change at any moment. And my white. My white is often a mix of a lot of stray whites. So I use acrylic white, I use latex white, which is acrylic. And I use gesso sometimes. So let's see how that goes. Oh, that's a nice contrast to the kind of the blend that was occurring. But that only happened once. All right. Some of it see, this is what happens. You get in the zone and then you stop talking, which is good for the zone, but not great, you know, for the friends who are in the room with you as you paint. Okay, change things up a little bit. And continue with the white. which is really kind of a dove white. It's not a particularly white white. And the red is going to be more of a fluorescent. And the gold is going to be a little bit more of a lime. Oops. Let's just see how that works. You know what? I want a dark color, and I just happen to be working on some of those. Oh, phthalo blue. You know, it got put back in the kind of the far reaches of my my supply there, and I haven't used it for a while, which is shocking. I love it. Old phthalo blue, center and down and to the side, and continuing over here. And a contrast. I'm going to use that spritzing technique just to generate a more of a kind of translucent quality. Oh, yeah. And now I get to turn them around and work on the other side where I went wild with hot pink. And turquoise. What was I thinking? I mean, it's a great combination. But, you know, it's a little bit of a challenge to balance, or I'm anticipating that, which is probably the wrong thing to do. I get a little analytical, I guess that's what you'd call it. Oh, well, some of these are nice, especially the ones that have some of the blue contrasts. It's just that this one was pretty hot. Let me add more. I'm just going to add more of one color, but I've kept some of the other colors underneath and without washing them off first. So I'm just going to get some big blocks of color variations. I actually love how this kind of works in here, and there's a lot of the extra space there. So I'll leave it for now, but I just, knowing myself, I won't leave it for too long. And I'm creating some blocks of color. And because I just have one color on my squeegee. Maybe 2 blocks of color would be nice. I'll continue with the yellow, kind of orangey yellow. I have to deal with the inside of this tube because, it could just be that there's a bunch of thicker paint. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a bunch of thicker paint just blocking the opening, and then it's much thinner underneath. I've made the mistake occasionally of adding some extra water and then finding, no, that wasn't what was needed. Now it's too runny. I wonder what just yellow and blue, nice complements, would look like. Take it over here. That blue's a little bit, ooh, that's nice though. I'm going to say a little bit thick. But it is nice. It's trying to get a little greeny tinge because of the yellow. I have to really look where I'm going here. Yeah, so now it's getting, downright green. Well, not every pass is perfect, even on things that I like and I, prefer them to continue to be, to just like make good marks all along. But, it's the mistakes that take me further than I thought to go. So I'm not complaining. I don't like the mix terribly of this particular orange and blue. It's come out kind of a muddy teal. And again, it's just a problem that hasn't been solved yet. So I'm going to stop for today and maybe work a little bit more cutting some of these squeegees up, making squeegees out of dustpans. So thank you for joining me. Don't forget to go and make art. Oh, I'm so happy that you are joining me today and maybe other days too. I'll take you through my day-to-day as an artist, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tape. Thanks for being here.